Kings Island is a strong contender for my favorite park. I've had a really great time there on all three of my visits. How's it going, everyone? RCX here, and today we're going to be talking about the roller coasters of Kings Island. The famous roller coaster haven acts as the regional park for the Cincinnati, Ohio metro area and nearby towns in Ohio and Kentucky. Located just 24 miles from Cincinnati in Mason, Ohio, Kings Island has continually operated annually since April 1972. The park then really put themselves on the map in the late 70s, opening the first aero-launched loop to operate to the public, Demon, in 1977, and the legendary world record wooden coaster Beast in 1979. Ever since then, the park has continued to grow even through 4 different ownership groups. The original owners, Taft Broadcasting, ran the park until 1993, when it became a Paramount Park. Following Paramount Park's dissolution in 2006, Cedar Fair bought the park. Cedar Fair essentially still operates the park, but they are now known as Six Flags Entertainment after the 2 amusement park giants famously merged in 2024. Kings Island is now home to 15 different roller coasters in 2025. In this video, I will rank all the coasters of Kings Island. Remember, my opinion isn't the right one, it's just my opinion, and I would love to hear your Kings Island coaster rank or your take on my list in the comments below. And if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe here and follow on X, because there's a lot more roller coaster content coming at Roller Coaster Encyclopedia. Now let's get started. Before we start the official rank, here's 2 roller coasters that will not be included, so you can put them as 14th or 15th on the list if you'd like. Woodstock's Air Rail and the Great Pumpkin Coaster. I don't ride kiddie coasters unless there's something cool or special to them, so the Great Pumpkin is out. It is an E&F miler, and their kiddies have the most forces, so if you like that kind of thing, go knock yourself out. Woodstock's Air Rail is a Vekoma suspended family coaster from 2001. I actually enjoy the new generation of Vekoma SFCs, but the old ones are both horrendously uncomfortable and boring for adults, so they're going to be an auto skip for me. Number 13, Woodstock Express, a classic PTC Junior wooden coaster that opened with the park way back in 1972. Standing just under 39 feet tall, reaching 35 miles per hour over 1,350 feet of track. This coaster provides a great opportunity for a little one to experience what a wooden coaster feels like and even check out some mild floater air time before moving on to bigger rides. And it's fun enough that a parent won't be bored riding it with their child. So I really hope all these classic junior PTCs are preserved for future generations of young thrill seekers to come. Number 12, Snoopy's Soapbox Racers. A Vekoma family boomerang that just opened in 2024, it's a true family coaster that helps fill out the lineup nicely. You traverse a mild 673-foot-long course forwards and backwards, reaching a max speed of just over 37 miles per hour. The drop at the start is mild but fun. I'm not sure what the height of the drop quite reaches, but the structure's max height is 75 feet. Not sure when this happens because I felt practically nothing the entire ride, but there is a moment that reaches 3.0 G-force on the ride. So it's definitely another good stepping stone for the kids to work their way up. Number 11, Invertigo. Taking an extreme step forward, we have America's last remaining, though probably not for long unfortunately, Vekoma Invertigo, otherwise known as a Vekoma inverted boomerang. This opened back in 1999. Traveling forwards and backwards over 1,014 feet of track at 50 miles per hour, riders brace 3 intense inversions from the traditional boomerang layout of a cobra roll and a loop twice over. The G-force reaches 5.0 in these inversions, so while other rides at Kings Island may provide a longer experience, Invertigo has some of the most intense moments in the entire park. Unfortunately, this has not been fitted with the modern new Vekoma vest restraints. Old Vekoma OTSRs are unforgiving, so be prepared to brace and ride defensive, or else you will definitely be suffering from some headbanging and some neck choppers. I'm great at riding defensive, and even I still got 2 neck choppers on the backwards inversions. Even more unfortunate, this ride may already be gone by the time you're watching this video. I have it on good authority that 2025 was planned to be the last season for Invertigo, and that near confirmed rumor has even more substance now because it's facing an extended closure for the last few months of the 2025 operating season after going down with some issues in late July. Glad I got the credit while I was there. Fun fact, this coaster was once very oddly themed to the 90s Nicolas Cage and John Travolta movie, Face Off. Number 10, the Racer. Many might be surprised or disappointed to see the Racer so low on this list. It's a fine Woody. The first drop and drop off the turnaround provide decent airtime, but I felt pretty much no forces otherwise. Maybe I just need some more rides on it, but I didn't see the mass appeal that this has among the coaster community. Credit where it's due that they keep both sides open and racing regularly, though. The Racer opened with the park back in 1972 and has been a staple of the park ever since. Designed by legendary old-school Woody architect John C. Allen and manufactured by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, or PTC, both red and blue sides of the Racer feature 3,415 feet of track at 53 miles per hour, reaching a max height of 88 feet. Despite my previous criticism, this is in no way a bad coaster. Highly recommend riding it when you visit Kings Island. The coaster lineup here is just that stacked that a decent Woody like the Racer ends up all the way in 10th place. Number 9, Adventure Express. One of the last Aero mine trains ever produced, 4th to last to be specific, Adventure Express has genuinely elite theming for a non-Disney or Universal park. It is my 3rd favorite mine train I've ridden thus far, only beat by the original over at Six Flags Over Texas and the final they made at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Lots of quick turns, dark tunnels, and a great setting are the highlights as you traverse 2,963 feet at 35 miles per hour, reaching a max height of 63 feet. My only complaint about this coaster is the finale is just super anticlimactic. You go up a second chain lift hill in a dark tunnel with tribal music playing and Stonehenge-like statues going by. I was getting pumped up for a final drop like most Aero mine trains lead into for a finale, but we were just pulled right into the station. I was super disappointed. If it had a good final drop, it would probably be the best mine train out there. Number 8, Queen City Stunt Coaster. Originally opening in 2005, the newly rethemed and named Backlot Stunt Coaster clone might be the best of the 3 clones out there now. In 2025, they added some new theming and got the old effects working. Starting with a 0 to 40 mile per hour and 3-second launch into a shockingly powerful triple helix that causes many to gray out, especially in the back row, me included. Stunt Coaster offers lots of fun moments throughout the ride, like a twisted drop into darkness and a final drop that gives surprisingly good airtime in the back rows of the train. Although the stats are modest, a 45-foot max height, 31-foot drop, 40 mile per hour top speed, and only 1,960 feet of track, don't underestimate the forces that Queen City Stunt Coaster can provide. Now, at 225 coaster credits as of this video, Queen City Stunt Coaster and its clones come in at number 109 on the current RCX Top 125 rank. Kings Island's first entry of an insane 8 coasters of theirs to make the rank. Number 7, the Bat. In 1981, Kings Island opened an aero suspended coaster named the Bat. Due to a host of mechanical and safety issues, the coaster only lasted 2 years, closing in 1983. A decade later, in 1993, the coaster was revived in a new form under the same manufacturer and model, then known as Top Gun, later renamed Flight Deck once Cedar Fair took over. In 2014, as a dedication to the original, Flight Deck was renamed the Bat. One of 4 remaining aero suspended coasters, I find this one far preferable to Ninja at Magic Mountain and Iron Dragon at Cedar Point. I have yet to ride Vortex at Canada's Wonderland, That one is allegedly the best one left. The bat really surprised me though. It actually has some great forces and laterals on top of an absolutely excellent setting in the woods separate from the rest of the park. It stands 78 feet tall and reaches 51 miles per hour over 2,352 feet of track. Modest stats, but it packs a punch where it needs to. I almost skipped this due to it having no fast lane access and a 40-minute standby wait when I first visited. Ended up riding on my second day there, and so glad I did. The bat comes in at number 107 on the current RCX Top 125. Number 6, Flight of Fear. In 1996, under Paramount leadership, the Kings Parks, Kings Island, and Kings Dominion debuted cloned Premier Rides LIM-launched Spaghetti Bowl coasters enclosed in buildings in darkness themed to aliens and UFOs from the TV show Outer Limits, called Outer Limits Flight of Fear. When the IP went bye-bye, they just dropped the series name and went with just Flight of Fear, naturally keeping the alien theme. For starters, the queue is very entertaining with all of the alien artifacts, computers, loud audio, and flashing bright colors. The theming on the ride besides the initial launch is light, but that's fine because you are enclosed in total darkness as you brace the very unpredictable layout of the Premier Spaghetti Bowl. I vastly prefer the 2 Flight of Fear clones over the 2 outdoor clones of it at the Legacy Six Flags parks. The darkness just heightens the ride so much in my opinion. I've nicknamed them Space Mountain on crack. With pitch black vision, you will traverse 2,705 feet of track at speeds reaching 54 miles per hour. There is no traditional first drop throughout the Spaghetti Bowl layout, but the max height is 74 feet. There are 4 inversions that produce up to 4.5 Gs of force. The inversions are a Cobra Roll, Sidewinder, and a final corkscrew that is one of my favorite corkscrews on any coaster. The Flight of Fear clones place at number 78 on the current RCX Top 125. The next 5 coasters are all considered top 50 level American coasters and are the consensus top 5 coasters in the park. Everyone places them in a different order though, so here's mine. Number 5, Mystic Timbers. Mystic Timbers is an action-packed GCI Woody that delivers airtime the entire 3,265 feet of track through. Opening in 2017, Mystic has a max height of 109 feet with a 97-foot drop, reaching speeds of 53 miles per hour. The first drop delivers ejector airtime, followed by some nice floater on the following hills. In my opinion, it loses a little steam for the middle, but it finishes strong with those slightly banked and curved airtime hills next to the pretty lake. It's an extremely picturesque view, I might add. You finish with this little mini dark ride finale in the shed, and it's pretty anticlimactic, but I still enjoy it, and I especially enjoy it when I get the tree monster. Shouts out Tomato. A lot of people think I don't like this coaster because I don't rank it as high as most everybody else does, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Mystic Timbers is an elite Woody. I just don't find it to be truly world class like a lot of other people do. So Mystic Timbers comes in at number 47 on the current RCX Top 125 rank. Number 4, Beast. As I mentioned early in the video, Beast set all sorts of world records upon opening in 1979. It tied Screamin' Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis for the tallest wooden coaster in the world at 110 feet. But it broke the record for the largest drop on a wooden coaster, using its terrain to have a 141-foot drop off that 110-foot max height. It broke the record for the fastest wooden coaster at 65 miles per hour, holding that record for only 2 years before Intamin broke it with their first major extreme coaster, American Eagle, at Six Flags Great America, then Marriott's Great America, which beat the Beast by just a mere single mile per hour. It absolutely shattered the record, though, for the longest roller coaster on Earth with an insane track length of 7,361 feet. A record that stood all the way until 2000 when Japan's Steel Dragon 2000 broke it. but still 46 years later it still stands as the world's longest wooden coaster, with no coaster besides Holiday World's The Voyage even coming within 1,000 feet of it. Kings Island has done a great job maintaining Beast all these years, and in 2025 gave the first drop and hills a retrack by Gravity Group. They now deliver stand-up ejector airtime every ride. Some people find the filler sections boring, but I enjoy the setting so much that I don't care at all. The final helix is very intense and delivers some of the world's best laterals. Overall, the ride delivers way more than some of the detractors claim, and it's one of my favorite wooden coasters I've ever ridden. After my first 2 days at Kings Island, I had the Beast number 3 at the park, but a third visit later moved it down to number 4. Not because of anything the Beast did wrong, but just because of how good my rides were on number 3. I still haven't gotten one of the world-famous Beast night rides in the dark, though, so maybe that will change it next time I visit this wonderful park. The Beast comes in at number 35 in the current RCX Top 125. Number 3, Banshee. Where to begin when describing the intensity of Banshee? The queen of inverts, as I've dubbed her, Banshee is one of the most intense coasters in the world, in my opinion. I don't gray out often on coasters. Generally, only long, sustained helixes do it to me, like Goliath at Magic Mountain or Superman at Six Flags America in Darien Lake. But I consistently gray out like half the ride on Banshee. With 4,124 feet of track, a max height of 167 feet, a 150-foot drop, and speeds reaching 68 miles per hour. Those specs don't tell the whole story, though. It's the 7 inversions that do. The aforementioned 150-foot drop goes into a graceful dive loop, followed by a vertical loop, and then a very whippy 0G roll. Following that, you dive down into the star of the show, the world's only pretzel knot inversion, which I would describe essentially as a reverse-sided batwing. Following is another vertical loop, with the finale being an even more whippy inline twist. Generally, I'm a big hater of the B&M vest restraints. I find them very uncomfortable, and they severely limit airtime on the dives and hang time on the wing coasters. This made me have tempered expectations when I learned Banshee was the only B&M invert with these restraints versus the rest having the traditional B&M OTSRs. However, it ended up not really bothering me much at all on Banshee due to it being a positive G-force-based ride, not really featuring any airtime the vest could ruin at all. I really love this coaster. It's essentially tied for second in the park, but can't do ties, so third it is. Banshee's also my second favorite B&M invert, only bested by Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa. If it had OTSRs, there's a chance it might even beat Montu, but that's a big hypothetical and we could never know. Banshee comes in at a highly rated number 16 overall in the current RCX Top 125 rank. Number 2, Diamondback. The airtime I got on Diamondback, my first 2 rides on it, felt legitimately illegal. The clamshell was extremely loose, which didn't bother me since Cedar Fair B&M Hypers have seatbelts too, but how I flew through the air going down the first drop and next hill felt like more than what was intended. And I don't mean that as a complaint at all. Those rides had me placing Diamondback as the number 1 coaster in the park after my first visits. The rides weren't quite that epic my next visit, and another coaster stood out more, leading to it to be second place. Some people claim minimal airtime and roughness, but I couldn't disagree more about the airtime. And while there is certainly a rattle at many points of the coaster, I don't find it overly rough in any way at all. In fact, since the coaster is themed to a rattlesnake, I find it adds to the character and theming, and that's only halfway a joke too. Opening in 2009, D-Back covers 5,282 feet of track. The max height is 230 feet, dropping down 215 feet at a 74-degree vertical angle. Even the second hill is nearly hyper height at 193 feet. Highly recommend riding in the back row wing seats. I love sticking my hands out for the splashdown at the end too. Diamondback just barely beats Banshee for second at Kings Island and comes in at number 15 overall in the current RCX Top 125. It's also my second favorite overall B&M hypercoaster. Number 1, Orion. Orion gets so much flack, and I really can't understand why at all. It may not be as amazing as Fury 325, its American B&M Giga counterpart, but it's still just a fantastic roller coaster. Opening in 2020, Orion's first drop goes down 300 feet at an 85-degree angle and gives major ejector air time in the clamshell restraints. That's the steepest drop of any non-dive B&M coaster, by the way. The argument that it is not a true Giga because its height is 287 feet is tired and stale. The drop goes down 300 feet, so it's a Giga. Even if you want to say it's not, I don't really care. It's a giant airtime machine. Every hill delivers, including a beyond hyper height 202-foot second hill. At 91 miles per hour, the 5,321 feet of track is a little short, and the ride could have used a little more length, but it does what it needs to. The picturesque giant helix known as Orion's Belt has given me a couple grayouts along the way as well. The yeet dip at the end caps off a wild ride. After my first visits, I think I enjoyed Diamondback just a slight bit more, but after my latest visit, Orion stood out more. The airtime was more sustained, and it's a smoother ride overall. It's a really close call between all three of Banshee, D-Back, and Orion. Depending on the day, I could probably feel a different way every time. But overall, in the end, I'm going with the Onion by a hair as the number 1 coaster at Kings Island, while the B&M Giga Orion also places number 12 overall in the RCX Top 125. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Subscribe to the channel. I got plenty more content coming. And be sure to follow on X because that's the main channel and we're always doing big things over there. Thanks again. Love you all. RCX out.